I get a lot of outdoor ads, being that I run 10 Toes Travel, and this one came into my feed today and it made me cringe. The article from Food and Wine is entitled, "Camping for Over 10 Years Taught Me I Can't Leave Without These Top 12 REI Checklist Items." This is very clearly an affiliate page meant to do nothing but drive sales to REI and profit to Food and Wine. I suspect that the author, Katie Brown, has never gone camping. I say this because I have read through this list and have cringed. It is clearly meant for people who are going car camping because it includes things like coolers, cast iron pans, propane stoves. These are not items that you take backpacking. So this is meant for people going car camping. Let's go down the list and take a look at some of these items. The first one, a Yeti 15 cooler. Yeti makes good stuff. I don't particularly like them as a company, but my main problem here is that the 15 has just enough room for 1 6-pack of your favorite beverage and maybe a cold block to keep it cold for the afternoon. If you're going camping for a weekend with 2 to 4 people, the minimum size you need is something in the 45 to 55 range. My suggestion, something like the old school green metal-sided Coleman, an industrial cooler. It's got mid-range insulation and it will last you forever. If you want to step that up, go to something like a Bison, 45 to 55 range, roto-molded, super heavy duty. Again, buy once, cry once. It'll last you forever. If you really want to do something nice for yourself, get yourself an electric cooler. I have one in Lief. It is amazing. You don't lose any space to ice and it keeps everything at just the perfect temperature. That is, to me, is the only way to go if you camp at all, at any level of camping. Bugs. So let's take a look at the next item on the list. Lodge cast iron 8-inch skillet. Lodge, no problem with Lodge. Cast iron, love it. Cast iron is great. You can cook your eggs on it. You can cook your steak on it. You can fend off a bear with it. But an 8-inch pan, all you're going to cook in that is maybe 1 hamburger and 1 small or 1 small steak. You're not getting 2 of anything in that pan except maybe eggs, maybe. If you're going to get a cast iron pan to take camping, get yourself a 10-inch pan. If you cook for 4 people, get yourself a 12-inch pan. You're done. If you really want to step it up, get one of the rectangle griddle pans. Smooth on one side, grates on the other, goes over both burners. They are fantastic. But an 8-inch, I don't know what you're going to do with that. Not much. Stanley Iceflow Aerolite 2.0 vacuum water bottle. That is a lot of words for a water bottle that you're going to take camping. I can understand wanting to bring a water bottle with you camping, but this seems like a lot of flash for something that you're supposedly taking out in the woods. Personally, I just keep dragging along my clean canteen. It's made out of recycled stainless steel, and I'm not paying the Stanley markup. Great bottles, by the way. I've talked about these a lot. The Coleman Cascade 3-in-1 camp stove. Coleman stoves, generally good stoves. The 3-in-1? No. The windscreens on the side are stupid small, and it's built to be 2 griddle pans. If you're already bringing along a cast iron pan, you don't need those 2 little shitty pans. And on top of it, I'm pretty sure those are aluminum pans, so they don't really hold a ton of heat, so they're useless. My suggestion is you bring along another one of Coleman stoves. They make a lot of great 2-burner propane stoves. Something like the Coleman 222, however you want to say it. Great controls, easy to use. That's the way to go. This one, yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's out of stock, so I don't think it's selling that well. All right, the OXO Outdoor Camp Kitchen Prep Set. This is cute, but it seems like a giant waste of space. I mean, it's holding your cutting board, a couple bottles of seasoning and some oil and a knife in a fairly large case, I'm pretty sure you could slim that down and bring along what you want without spending $58. Now, one of my really big points with this that I don't like is they're suggesting the Coleman Arch Bay 30 sleeping bag. Coleman's fine. Arch Bay 30. The numbers that manufacturers put on their sleeping bags are where they think you will survive if you're sleeping in it overnight. And that means sleeping with your socks on, your clothes on, and your hat on, because you're going to freeze. You'll live, but you'll be miserable. This is, unless you are camping in the desert, this is way too light of a sleeping bag. I would suggest getting yourself a giant sleeping bag, flannel line from King Camp or Red Camp or something like that, that is, one, big enough to be comfortable. You're car camping. You don't need to minimize space and weight. It's flannel lined. It is way warmer than cold nylon when you crawl into it at the end of the night. If you're camping with somebody that you snuggle with, either get a double, so it's twice as wide, or get two and that zip together. You'll be happier, you'll be able to snuggle, and everybody will stay warmer. All right. Why didn't you tell me the mosquito was bleeding me dry? Jeez. Alpine Mountain Gear Enamelware Mug. Enamelware mugs are a classic of camping, but they're just so-so. I'm going to be honest with you. They're single-walled, they're kind of small, and yeah, they're more nostalgic than functional. If I'm going to go camping, I want something like my Hydro Flask. This is one of Hydro Flask's biggest mugs. It's big enough to hold about half a pot of coffee or your breakfast oatmeal, and it'll keep it warm. An enamel mug, it just won't do that. They're nice, they're simple, and they're cheap. I think they put them on this list so they could say from $5 and up, but they're just not that great. The REI Co-op FlexLite Camp Chair. I am sure that this chair is amazing if you have been backpacking all day and don't want to sit on the ground. That being said, if you're car camping, you don't need to conserve space and weight. Get a chair that is super comfy. I've done lots of posts and videos on things like King Camp. They make great chairs that are comfortable, that are sturdy, and that you will enjoy sitting around the campfire in. This little FlexLite camp chair, it's built to be put in a backpack and schlepped 12 miles into the wilderness to sit in. That is its primary function, not being comfortable and kick back and relax in. Gerber Stakeout Spark Multi-Tool. This looks like an over-engineered POS. I'm not sure who would use this. If you're car camping, you're definitely not going to use that little scrape to spark lighter or the saw, I hope. And I'm not sure what the hook is for. Are we gutting animals? What are we doing with this? If you're going to bring along a multi-tool, just get a basic one. That's all you need. That's it. You don't need to get fancy. The Kelty Daydreamer 4-person tent. This tent is probably fine. They were at least smart enough to say a 4-person tent, because if there's 2 people camping, you kind of want a 4-person tent. If you haven't figured it out by now, when they say 4-person, they mean 4 people stacked in there like cordwood. So, if you've got 2 people, get a 4-person tent. If you got 4 people, get an 8-person tent. Just kind of the way it works out if you want to have room to sleep without sleeping on top of each other. Zippo Heat Bank Rechargeable Hand Warmers. We've done videos on these before. They're actually pretty nice. So if you're somebody that's got cold hands, cold feet, these are a good little option. This one I have a problem with. Yuko Titan Stormproof Match Set. Why are you using survival matches when you're car camping? I'm pretty sure you can figure out how to keep your lighter or your matches dry. And if what you're starting is your stove, I wouldn't use either of those. I would use one of the little click to start, they look like a taser for starting your stove. I've got one that I've been using for a year now. It's amazing. I recharge it once every 6 months. Works like a dream. That is what I would use with my Coleman stove. That is the end of this list. And it is really clear that this was not written by somebody who actually camps and uses any of these things. And if they do, I'm kind of terrified. I will put links to everything I suggest in the show notes, in the comments somewhere. feel free to check them out. They will be affiliate links because if they're getting paid, I should get paid, right? Okay, I'm going to wrap up this kind of random rant on Food and Wine's camping post and get back to work. If you like watching old guys like me talk about camping stuff and all that kind of BS, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. And until next time, have a good one and go out and do some camping with some real equipment, would you?